Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Welcome to Wednesday Night Live with independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator Teresa Harper. I'm located in Oregon in the USA. Hope everybody had a great week and a good day. Mine was a busy day, as I went shopping at Costco today, made the school runs, and watched kiddos until a little after 4. So, busy day, but a good day. All right. Hello, Lynette. Welcome, welcome. Tonight, we are going to be using the Easter Bunny stamp set. It comes as a bundle with the Easter Bunny punch. This punch at this moment is on back order until May 15th, as is the bundle, but you can still get the stamp set. So, hello, Tracy. Hello, Laura. We actually are not using the punch tonight. Both of my projects do not use the punch, but I did want to show you, if you punch the bunny, you can stamp this bunny and punch him. And in this particular case, I stamped my bunny using gray granite ink on Sahara sand, and then I just took a Flirty Flamingo pencil and a white watercolor pencil and did just a little bit of accent on him. Okay, so that's what he looks like if you would do that with him. But like I say, we are not using the punch tonight. So I can set that aside. I did want to you to know that that does come as a bundle, but it is on back order for quite some time. So is anybody else having issues with their picture? My laptop is flashing. Just want to make sure there's no issues. I keep getting green, which I'm sure is not on, it's not me, but I hope nobody else is getting that. Hello, Jennifer. Welcome. Thank you for sharing. All right, let's go ahead and get started. We have one card and one treat box tonight using the Easter Bunny stamp set. So let's get started on the card. We have quite a bit of stamping on this card that I couldn't do ahead of time. So we're going to start with a card base in Flirty Flamingo, which apparently I haven't scored. That's interesting. Makes me wonder if I cut it at 5.5. No, it's cut at 5.5. Okay, I'm going to score it at 4 1/4. With my Stampin' Trimmer here. I like to score my card bases. So we've got that done, and I didn't score it properly. Oh my, oh goodness. I should have used the Simply Scored. I do much better on that. Let's see if we can fix this. I'm just going to hold that down and revamp here and tell my cardstock to fold where I want it to. Okay, and that will be fine because we're going to put a piece of Designer Series paper up there and no one will know that I didn't do that right. In fact, let's go ahead and do that right now. I've got a piece of the Country Gingham DSP, and this piece is the Sweet Sorbet, and it is cut at 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, which gives us a very narrow border. So we're just going to go ahead and add that to our card base. And you won't even know I scored that wrong. No, you won't, because I didn't. Is this not 8.5? Oh, maybe that's why it was scored wrong, because it isn't 8.5. Nope, it's only 8 1/4. It was in my scrap bin, or in my thing. Let me grab, oh my goodness. I have pre-cut and scored card base right there. There we go. That's what I should have. Good grief. Must have grabbed the wrong piece of cardstock. Oops. Okay. So now we're back. We've got the A2 cardstock for the card base, Flirty Flamingo, 5.5 by 8.5. Then we've got this Country Gingham, 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And that gives us a very narrow border, okay? Now we're gonna start our stamping. And this is a piece of basic white that is 3 3/4 by 5 inches. We've got a lot of stamping to do on this. I'm gonna bring in my stamping mat, my Pierce mat, Stampin' Pierce mat. And I'm also going to bring in a piece of scrap paper because we will be doing some where we might go off the edge here. So we're going to start with our bunnies. We're going to be using our standing bunny and the bunny that will punch, but we're not going to punch him. We're just going to stamp that down. I'm going to do that with Memento Tuxedo Black. And I'm going to stamp this down about here. Okay. Then we're going to get our standing bunny. We're going to ink that up in Memento. And we're going to stamp him down, trying to get him about the same height. Like so. Okay. Then we're going to do a little bit of masking. And I've already cut my masks. So I used the Stampin' Up! Masking paper, stamped on the non-glossy side, the matte side, and then I cut them out right on the line. Then I'm going to put my little bunnies down. And I've done both of them. And I want to get that down just like that. Nope, let's not close up our ink pad. Now we're going to take the carrot from the Easter Bunny stamp set, and I'm going to place that right at the edge of his hands here, just like so, and give that a good little press. Okay. And next we're going to grab the grass. And we're going to start on one side. And we're just going to add some grass here. Along the bottom, we're creating a little scene. All right. So that is all of our stamping that needs to be masked. And what the masking does is it puts our bunny, whatever we want to be in the forefront, we stamp first, and then we mask it so it looks like, in this case, the hand of the bunny is on the outside of the carrot and the grass is behind the bunnies. So we can go ahead and pull those away. So we're done with those. Now, The next things that we need to stamp are some butterflies. We're going to grab the little butterfly out of the Easter Bunny set. We're going to put a butterfly right up here and another butterfly right over here. And then we need a scrap piece of basic white. I'm going to stamp one more butterfly. And oh, I didn't get the bird out. Okay, hang on. Let me grab my Easter Bunny stamp set. Well, okay. We need a bird. Oh, good. Thank you, Jennifer. Mine, for some reason, my laptop every once in a while it just does weird things when I'm online. Okay, so we need a bird and we need a butterfly. And then we color the bird and the butterfly. And the butterfly we're going to color in Flirty Flamingo, a light Flirty Flamingo on the outside of our butterfly. And then we're going to take Dark Sweet Sorbet and fill in those. And we're going to color the two butterflies on our cardstock exactly the same. Be a little bit more careful on these though, because I'm not going to cut them out. Okay. So there's our butterflies. Go back and add that Sweet Sorbet. And in these smaller spots, all I'm doing is touching my pen. Okay, so there's that. I'm going to color the carrot. I'm going to start with Dark Pumpkin Pie. And I'm just going to go over the lines in the carrot that the artist drew. And then I'm going to fill it in with light pumpkin pie. Okay. For the bird, we're going to color the bird in light and dark balmy blue. And I'm going to take my dark balmy blue and I'm just going to put some dark at the wings here and right on the tail and on this little wing over here. And then I'm going to fill the rest of that in except for his beak with the light. Okay. For his beak, I'm going to use light pale papaya. You could use the light pumpkin pie. I liked this lighter color. So we've got that. Then from this piece of white, you will also need to cut a oval. And this comes from the mini pocket dies. We're going to use this for our sentiment. And I've already done that ahead of time to save us some time. So we've got that. We'll bring that in and we might as well stamp our sentiment while we're here. So we're going to put on here, "You're a friend like no other." And I'm going to use Memento for that. And then I'm just going to bring this down here. Set that up in an oval. then I'm going to stamp that right down there. Let that set for just a second. And now we have our sentiment piece. And we can set that aside. And now we're going to bring in the light old olive. And we're going to color in the grass. And I didn't worry about if there were air spaces here. I'm just coloring it all in because the grass would just continue. So right here under the bunnies especially, I'm not worried about. I want a nice solid fill. Going to give that a quick color. I'm being a little more careful with the blades of grass when I get away from the bunny. But I really want to fill in that bottom. Okay, so we've got that. And we want the light shaded spruce. I'm going to put that on my carrot leaf. And I'm not worrying about shading. Just putting it on here. Okay. Now, I'm going to go back with the light flirty flamingo. I'm going to put a little bit of color in his ear. Okay. And then I'm going to hope that my gray granite holds out here, my light and dark gray granite. They are getting kind of empty here. I'm just going to color in the ear. And I'm going to go around the eye here and just over here. And I forgot to put in, I need a little bit of flirty flamingo right here at the tip of his nose and right here at the tip of his nose. And I'm just going to color this, avoiding the eye. Now I'm going to take some dark gray granite. I'm going to kind of draw out just a little bit darker to make that leg really look like it's got some dimension there. A little bit of dark under there. I'm going to put a little bit of dark right here. And a little bit of dark around here. And I'm going to go back with my light gray granite and I'm going to blend that all together and finish coloring it up. Turning my picture to make it easier for myself to color. Okay, so there's that bunny. Now we're going to go back and do our other bunny real quick. Let me check the comments. Okay, the last comment that I see is Jennifer's, that yes, she can see clearly. So hopefully that is I haven't missed anything. And again, on this one, I'm going to take this up to the eye. So I want to keep the tummy white. Okay, so I'm going to go in here again with the dark along this line here, and I want to extend that leg. I'm going to do the same thing here, putting a little bit of dark in there. And then darken up right there on the leg, and put just a little bit of dark here and at the feet. Okay, and I'm going back with my dark gray granite, my light gray granite. If I said dark, I can't remember what I said, but I'm using light, and I'm just going to use circular motions and finish coloring that in. Make sure I get those feet down there. All right, so there's my bunnies. All right, we're almost done. So now we're going to take this and we're going to add this to our card front. We're going to do that with some Stampin' Seal. This, center that up. Then we're going to take our bird and our butterfly, which I've pre-cut, so you didn't have to watch me fussy cut. And we're going to take our sentiment, and we're going to take some Stampin' Dimensionals. And I've got the edge of one that I kept here, so I'm just going to put this down here. And this is going to go right here. We're going to use some mini dimensionals on our butterfly and our bird. I'm going to cut one of these little edge pieces into a very thin line here and stick that on the back of my bird so that he sits evenly. And then he's going to go down here. And we're going to put our little butterfly up here. All right, so that is the front of our card. Now we need just a little embellishment. So we're going to use the loose daisy embellishments. These are from the Playing in the Rain suite, and they are currently on back order, but they'll be back on March 20th. So for these, I'm just going to take my Tombow liquid glue and I am going to put 3 dots of glue down here in the grass. 1, 2, and 3. And then I'm going to take my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm going to grab one large daisy, and 2 of the smaller daisies. is the front of our card. Final step is to, you know, no card's complete if you don't put Wink of Stella. So we're going to put some Wink of Stella on our butterflies and give them a little bit of sparkle. Okay, there we have it. Now for the inside, I took the sitting bunny and I stamped on a 2 3/4 by 4.5 inch piece of basic white. And for this bunny, all I did was color the ear in Flirty Flamingo and the eyes in blue. And I'm going to add this to a piece of the Country Gingham that is 3 by 4 1/4, or 3 by 4 1/2. Sorry about that. Let's get the measurement right. 3 by 4 1/2. Okay, and we're going to add that to the gingham. And then I'm going to take this piece and add it inside my card. Okay. All right. For the envelope, I used that same Designer Series paper on the flap, and I stamped the bunny on the front so that we have the coordinating envelope. All right, I hope you liked that. Oh, thanks, guys. Hello, Kelly. So I wanted to show that you can, just because it's the Easter Bunny stamp set does not mean it has to be for Easter. So this can go for any occasion that you want to just send to a friend. All right, so let's put these things away. And I wanted to show you, I just keep anything extra that I have in a little clear medium envelope, and that's also where I put my masks to keep for another time. Okay, so all this stuff just goes in the envelope, and then I stick this inside my stamp case, and then the next time I pull my stamp case, I have images that are already stamped and ready to go. All right, moving on. Let's move to our 3D project. And let's get rid of these. I'm not sure I need any of those. I won't set them too far away just in case I do. But there we are. Okay. So for our 3D project, this is what we're making. Make a little treat box. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started with that. We're going to start with a piece of Starry Sky. This is cardstock. And the Starry Sky is cut at 7 inches by 8 inches. This is our template in case you want to take a quick screenshot. Let me flatten it out for you. Boop. All right. Now we're going to get our Simply Scored tool. And of course I need that cardstock. And on the 7-inch side, let me move some things out of the way, but not too far out of the way because I want you to be able to see. Can you see the measurements? Yes, now you can. Okay, so we're going to score on the 7-inch side at 1, 5.5, and 6.5. And then we're going to rotate it and score on the 8-inch side at 1 inch, 3 3/4 inch, 4 3/4 inch, and 7.5 inches. Okay, and that is all of our scoring. So we can move our scoreboard and grab our bone folder, and we're going to fold and burnish on all of the score lines. Now, this is the front side of our box, the front side of the cardstock. I like to flip mine over. I can cut it easier that way. So with it flipped over, this 1/2 inch piece that's on my right hand side, this is going to be my glue tab. Okay, so I am going to cut up and cut out this small rectangle. So I'm going to cut up to the first score line, and then on this long piece I'm going to cut at an angle right at the score line and take out that piece. Okay, and then I'm going to repeat that at the top, but this time instead of taking out the one small rectangle, I'm taking out 2. And then I'm going to angle cut that right there so that I have that glue tab. Okay, moving to the bottom. This is the bottom of our box. I'm going to cut to the inside of the score line on the long rectangle. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Cut to the inside on that. And then I'm going to snip out at an angle each side of the square, so that I have that angle cut. And that makes me a tab. Okay, I'm going to repeat that over here, cutting to the inside of the long rectangle, angle cut on the square tab, and then I'm going to cut on the outside of the square tab at an angle. Okay, now I'm going to move to the top of the box. I'm going to remove both of these sections right here. So I'm going to cut on the first score line from the left, but this time I'm going to cut on the outside of the rectangular of the score line for the rectangle. Okay, I want to remove that score line completely. Then I'm going to come down here to the second score line, and I'm going to cut inside here. And I'm going to remove that whole section, removing that score line. Okay, so this is the piece I'm cutting off, and I can get rid of that. Now, I'm going to move to these sections, and again, I'm going to cut to the inside of the rectangle on the score line. Okay. I'm going to move to the other side of the rectangle, and I'm going to cut to the inside of the score line. Now I'm going to fold this in, and I'm going to cut off these first score lines on both of these tabs. I'm going to remove those and remove the score line completely. Okay? Then I'm going to angle cut on either side, removing some of the bulk. And you must do this or your tab won't fit inside your box if you don't. The tab will get caught on these, or the tuck tab will get caught on the side tabs. Okay, so we've got that. Now we're going to take a corner rounder, any corner rounder that you have. Stampin' Up! Doesn't currently have a corner rounder. So we're going to take any corner rounder that you have and round the tops of those corners. If you don't have a corner rounder, you can get one, or you can cut these at an angle. But you want to take just a slight little bit off, because this is what's going to hold your box closed. And if you cut too much of this, then the box won't want to stay closed. That's why I like the corner rounder. So now I need to put a piece here so that everybody knows where to open the box at. So I'm going to take my, you could eyeball this. I'm too anal to do that, so I don't. And I'm going to do this at 1 3/8. I think is half of 2 3/4. Yep, 3/8 and 3/8 makes 6/8. So at 1 3/8, I'm just going to put a little divot there. And I'm going to take a 1/2 inch circle punch. Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell these anymore either. So anything that you have that will make a small half of a circle. And I'm going to cut out the little notch for the finger. Okay? Now our box is ready to be assembled. Let me get my paper scraps out of my way here. Okay. So we're going to take some tear and tape. That's my preferred adhesive for boxes. You can use Tombow and it's really strong, but you do need a strong adhesive. So I'm going to take and flip this over because this is the outside of my cardstock. Remember, I did all the cutting on the inside. And on this outside piece, right next to the score line, on this 1/2 inch tab, I'm going to lay down a row of tear and tape. Okay? And then I'm going to take and flip this back to the inside. And where this tab is, I'm going to put a piece of tear and tape on the inside at the bottom of the tab. Okay? And that's really all that you need. Now, take and burnish. This just makes it easier to get your release packing off. I'm using my ruler, but of course you could use your bone folder. And then we're going to remove that release backing. I'm going to fold in anything in excess. Then I'm going to take this, I'm going to fold this on the second score line from the right, so 1 and 2, and I'm going to lay that down flat. Then I'm going to come in on the left at the first score line, and I'm going to lay that down flat. I'm going to burnish that with my bone folder. Okay? Now I've got a box. I'm going to take my tuck tabs, side tabs, tuck tab, and then I'm going to fold in my sides, fold in the back of the box. You know it's the back of the box because you've got your finger here. Remove my release paper, and then I'm going to set this up, and I'm going to square up my box, and then I'm going to burnish that down. Okay? Now, our box is made. What does it fit? You ask. Okay. So let's go ahead, and I designed this box to fit a Lorna Doone 4 shortbread cookie pack. So I'm going to put that in. A tea bag. And then what Easter treat box is complete without your Reester bunnies? That's what they used to call them. I got these at Target. That Target is about the only place I've found them. You might be able to find them on Amazon, but I didn't look. But your local Target has the Reese's Peanut Butter Bunnies. This is the first year they haven't called them Reester bunnies. But of course I still will. So I'm going to take a Lindor egg too. I've got a Lindor egg. I'm going to drop that in the bottom. Then next to my cookies, I'm going to put in 2 of my Reester bunnies. And then I'm going to close that up. So you have tea, cookies, and chocolate. What a better snack, huh? All right. Thank you, guys. All right, so let's go ahead and decorate up our box. I've done most of the work already, so I didn't want you to have to sit here. So you'll need a piece of basic white and the scallop contour dies. We're using the 3rd to the largest or the third to the smallest. Either way you look at it, it's the one right in the middle on the scalloped contour dies. I've used that one. Okay. I've got a piece of the, this is that Dandy Designs paper, but you could use whatever you have. I really liked it, and I'm going to use it because I have it. And I know you all have some too. And I'm going to put this on the front of my box. This piece is cut at, let me look for you, 4 3/8 by 2 5/8. Okay. And that just gives you a real thin border. So we're going to put that down right there. And then we're going to take our scalloped tag here, and we can put this on. Or scalloped piece here, not tag necessarily. And I'm just going to center that up. Okay. Next, you need a piece of, this is also Dandy Designs. You could use whatever you have. This is cut at 2 by 7/8, so 2 inches by 7/8, and the 2 inches will just fit inside the scalloped contour lines. Okay, so we're just going to cut this down, or set this down. And I used this to resemble grass. Okay, so we've got that. Oh no, we don't want to do that. Oops. Let's take that back off. Hurry quick. Not yet. Not yet for this piece. Whew. Okay. You need a piece of fresh freesia, and this has been run through the Cane Wheat 3D embossing folder. Okay. This piece is cut at 2 inches by 3 15/16. So that's 1/16 less than 4 inches. And that is made so that it will fit perfectly inside that scalloped tag, or that scalloped piece. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this on. I'm going to use liquid glue for this because it's a 3D, and that's my adhesive of preference for 3D embossing folders. And I'm just going to put that right inside those dotted lines, the stitching lines. Okay, now I'm going to add this piece. And I'm going to re-glue this with the Tombow because it's going on the embossing. Okay. And we'll put this right at the bottom of that fresh freesia, like so. Okay. So then you will need to stamp on a scrap piece of white. You need to stamp a teacup in Starry Sky from the Cup of Tea stamp set right here. And it has the coordinating teacup dies. So you'll stamp the teacup and then cut it out with the coordinating die. And everything else has to be stamped in Memento, then colored with Stampin' Blends and Fussy Cut, because we don't have any dies to go along with these. Okay, so I've taken the Sit Down Bunny, and he's been colored with, I used Crumb Cake Light and Dark, and then I used the light petal pink in his ears, and on his nose and on the pads of his feet. I've stamped, colored, and cut out the flowers. I've used Fresh Freesia, Tahitian Tide, Dark Sweet Sorbet, and Granny Apple Green on this, right? I believe those are the correct, no, Light Sweet Sorbet, okay, for those, and Daffodil Delight in the center of the flowers. Although you don't need to color those if you use the gems that I'm going to use. So we've got that, and then we have our eggs. And we don't need all of these, so we're going to choose what we want to use. And again, I've used Tahitian Tide, Light Sweet Sorbet, this is Starry Sky and Fresh Freesia, Light Orchid Oasis with the Daffodil Delight, and again Fresh Freesia with the Daffodil Delight. Okay, so we'll decide how we're going to do that. So I'm going to set my cup right here on the front, about where I think I want it. I'm going to put my bunny. Okay, so I'm going to move my cup down a little bit. Put my bunny here, like so. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put my bunny down flat. Oh, you know what? I'm going to cheat. And no, I'm not, because I'm putting it on. The thing with basic white is, and Tombow is you need to be very gentle with it, because over time, if you have a big globs of the glue, it will show through the basic white. So you want to just put it down and then kind of take the tip and spread it so you don't have big globs. Okay, just a little tip. Put that teacup back down here just for reference. I want my bunny to look like he's sitting in the top of it, like so. Move that up just a titch. Okay, now I'm going to pop up my teacup using some Stampin' Dimensionals. And I'm going to put these. I'm going to try not to put, well, I'm going to put that over the top, so I guess it won't matter. And then I'm going to need a little mini for the handle. And if I line my mini up just right, it just barely fits. Okay, so we'll remove those backings and add this where we want it. Okay, and then we're going to take our flower spray, and for this I am going to use Stampin' Seal. I'm just going to place this up here. Now I didn't put any adhesive at the top of my leaves because they're going to hang off the top, the top edge. I'm just going to put those down like that. We're going to take our eggs. I'm going to decide what we want to use here and how we want to place it. I think I want it like this. Okay, so we'll go ahead, and for this, I'm going to have one of my eggs hanging off and one on. So I'm going to put a mini dimensional on my spotted egg and a little bit of Stampin' Seal on the other egg right here. And just put that on like that. We'll repeat that over here, although we don't have as much hanging off the side. So I think for this one, I am going to take a large Stampin' Dimensional, and that will set that nicely if I put that Stampin' Dimensional in the middle. Throw those down there. Then I'm going to put this egg about like this. And I'm going to use Stampin' Seal for that. Okay. So we've got that. We're just going to set that right there. Okay. So to finish this up, we're going to use some iridescent pearls. And I've taken with the dark Daffodil Delight marker and I've colored 2 small and 1 large iridescent pearl. And you can do that with your Stampin' Blends. And I'm going to put 1 small one in the center of this flower, 1 small one in the center of the Fresh Freesia flower, and then a larger one on the little daisy. Okay, now, if you would like, you could add some Wink of Stella. On some of your egg, just to give it a little bit of extra sparkle. Okay, and let's go ahead and do our sweet sorbet flower in the middle. All right, there we are. There is our little treat box. Tea and cookies. I hope you like that. Aw, thanks, Tracy. Yeah, when I designed this box, I designed it because I thought, oh, we can have tea and cookies, but let's go ahead and throw in some chocolate while we're at it. Because, well, if you got to have a bunny and eggs, then you should probably have bunny and eggs inside. All right. Thanks, everybody. Oh, wait a minute. I've got some other projects to show you using the Easter Bunny stamp set. I made this card. This uses the Easter Bunny. This uses the flowers and the butterflies from the Easter Bunny stamp set. And then it uses a couple of the images from the Happier Than Happy bundle of products in the annual catalog. And this is an easel card that goes like this. Okay, so another way you can use that Easter Bunny stamp set without making it an Easter card or even using the bunnies. And then I'm going to give you a sneaky peek. Here's a spring card that I've made using some mostly dies along with the Easter Bunny and the butterflies, and it too is an easel card. Okay, I hope you enjoy those samples. I just wanted to show you that there are more things that you can do than just Easter with that bunny. Oh, you know what we forgot? Look. I took the double oval punch and stamped an Easter treat for you. And this is supposed to go, not in that box because that one it's already in, right on the lid of this box right here. I'm going to just use a little bit of Stampin' Seal. A little hidden message on the inside. This oval just fits perfectly inside those score lines so that when you open it up, you have this cute little Easter treat message. Okay? All right. Thanks everybody for joining. I will be live again next Wednesday. But in 2 weeks, I will not be live because I will be attending a choir and band concert for my high school senior granddaughter. All right, so next week, What do I have scheduled? I think I have Playing in the Rain scheduled for next week. So I will see you back here next week, same time, with Playing in the Rain projects. And those should be coming back in stock right away when we do that. All right. Good night, everybody. Thank you for joining me.